Hi everyone, welcome to another webisode of The Good Doctor. Today I'm here with Dr. Zohail Al-Fardan, who is a plastic and reconstructive surgeon. And today's topic of conversation is about liposuction. Welcome to the program, Doctor.
Thank you very much.
First question, what is liposuction?
If we go just back and the name, liposuction. Lipo means fat and suction means to suck something out, which is the fat. And this is a procedure where basically we do is to take off some of the fat in the body, some of the areas where what they call them stubborn fat are, and removing them from the person's body to give the person better contouring of his figure.
Okay, is this procedure life-threatening?
No.
Is it quick and easy?
No.
Okay, when you say it's not quick and easy, how long does this procedure take? Well, what are the steps involved?
Right. It is an easy procedure in a way, but in the right hand and with the right indications.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you say it's life-threatening, if your principle and if you follow the proper guidelines, it's not life-threatening.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a surgical procedure which has its risk and benefits and complications.
Sure.
So the steps of this procedure: first, when the patient comes to plastic surgeon and they wanted to know about liposuction, if they can get rid of the fat they have in the body. So the first start of this is in a consultation. And the most important point for me when the patient comes to me is basically to make sure that they understand this is a not weight reduction procedure. It is basically a stubborn fat, which is the fat it's in some of the areas in the body, did not respond to diet and exercise.
That's a great point.
Exactly. To have it's a more of a body contouring. We know that some areas in the body, the fat is very stubborn.
When you say stubborn fat, what does that mean?
Stubborn fat, that means you diet a lot, you exercise a lot, and that
it just won't go away. It just won't shrink or melt or get absorbed.
Absolutely.
No matter how hard you try, you work out. So, just following up on that question, people who have a little bit of, they might look at their body and say, I don't like this, and I don't like that, and I don't like this, this is not for them. Is this a procedure for them?
Well, it depends. If that the areas where they're looking at is not a huge area,
right,
yes, it is procedure for them.
So they can take out bits and pieces.
Exactly.
After having gone through what you explained, working out, dieting.
Absolutely.
It's just not going to go away. If you got this fat around your stomach area,
exactly,
and it's not going, regardless of how much effort you've put into it, that's when you go in and talk to a physician about getting a liposuction.
Absolutely.
So let's say that someone has come to you and they say, doctor, look, I've got this fat here. It's not going away, as you called it, the stubborn fat. What are the processes involved?
So basically, first we'll take the weight, we'll measure the weight of the person and his height. And then we're going to calculate what's something we call BMI, body mass index. Now, of this body mass index, there is a range from, let's say, from 18 to 24. That's basically your good weight. Above 25 to 30 you're overweight, above 30 you're obese,
right,
and then even above 40 you're morbidly obese. So that means, what it morbidly means, it means that you have too much of fat in your body, that you basically might be in risk, or you are at risk of having cardiovascular diseases, having blood pressure, and having also diabetes and all these things. And if you are below 18, that means you are basically underweight, and you might go on toward anorexia and all these things. So basically, that's what we calculate first. If that person is close to the normal weight, then the next thing we're going to basically look at the body area and see where the areas of interest or where the fat deposited. And if we look at it and it's okay, it's like we calculate roughly how much of the fat content is there.
Right.
And then basically we proceed. Now in the liposuction, there's something what we call it like low weight liposuction or high. And what does that mean? We look at approximately the maximum what's recommended by the American Association of Plastic and Reconstructive Surgeon, which is a safe procedure to do, If you're doing up to 5 liters of liposuction, that means this is called the major liposuction, 5 liters, and this has to be done in a setting of a hospital setting. With that, also you keep the patient for 1 night at least in the hospital to make sure that they are fine after the procedure. If you're doing anything less than 3 liters of liposuction, that area is called more of a minor, and that one can be done as a day procedure. Also in the hospital, we prefer it. That means the patient can go home in the same day.
From your experience, why do people come and get a liposuction?
Okay.
Is it cycle? I mean, does someone look inside the mirror and say, look, I'm not good enough, I'm not beautiful enough, especially for women. Men, less, I'm assuming.
It's actually, we see both. We see men and women.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you see the reasons, if I look at my patients, I can categorize them in 3 areas. Somebody comes who's really obese, and they think that this is one of the ways they can reduce their weight, and by doing a major liposuction, and maybe they will suck 15 liters of fat, and that's what the idea they come with. But they end up going away from my office by understanding this is not a good procedure for them, and and this could be very fatal for them if they do it.
So you don't take everybody just because they come to you and
Absolutely
say,
not.
Absolutely
right. not.
You really understand their profile, their history.
And I think it's very important. I actually don't mind these category of patients coming to me, and I actually like them because I want to make sure that they leave my office with a good understanding why this is not good for them.
Right.
And they have to understand also what kind of procedure they can do for them to help them in their particular case.
This is a great point, because just because you're sitting around with friends and if you're young with peers and they tell you, hey, quickly go get a liposuction, as if it's like a McDonald's service.
Exactly.
The doctors who are experts in their fields will tell you, will study your case, look at your history, look at your activities, and make their recommendations of whether or not they should do it or not.
Absolutely. So this is one category of patient. The other category of patient who actually did work on their body and they reduced their weight, but they actually reached plateau,
right,
where the weight's not going down and the shape of the body is not getting to what they want.
Right.
And they come to me, and then we have sit down and discuss, and then I will look at them again and I'll calculate their BMI. If they're closer to their ideal, then yes, I will, and then we look at the areas. If they're really in the area where we think it's a stubborn fat, for example, as they call love handles, or even some of the area in the thighs, or even the arms, then we said, okay, this is a good procedure for you, and I explain to them, and then we go ahead to discuss further how to do it and when. The third category, there are some people who actually did lose a little bit of weight, but they're still way further away from their what they should be. But they're struggling. They're struggling with their weight and some particular area, which is actually preventing them from doing even more aggressive exercise.
Right.
Okay. And some of them having a little bit in the lower abdomen, for instance. It's just hanging down. And these ones, we think about them very carefully. We discuss it. And if I think that I can help them by removing, let's say, 4 or 5 liters of fat from that particular area, not that they will get a perfect shape, no,
sure,
but that's just a one step to help them to continue basically their diet and exercise to reach a little bit more closer to their weight, and then I can help them further from that.
Well, thank you very much for this detailed information. For all of you who are watching this show, if you have questions for Dr. Zohair, please tweet us, post it on our Facebook page, send us comments on our website, eZeLiving.com, and Dr. Zohair will be happy to answer your questions in our next webisode. Thank you for watching eZeLiving.com, where you can find anything and everything lifestyle.